on, folks? TJ here. Happy next New Year to you, 2022. Thought I'd make a quick video. No gameplay in this video. No specific one thing in this video, but kind of maybe a little bit of a recap for 2021 and onwards to 2022. Since I'm wearing my Next shirt, let's chat about the Next first. I was hoping at the end of December we would have seen an update on the Kickstarter from the team at the Kickstarter with Henrique and Jim and all the rest of the gang. I didn't see one, so I'm guessing maybe they're working on that now, and hopefully in January sometime we see that. I have no clue, no idea, but I would think probably some type of update's coming. So obviously 2021, in my mind, I was all ready for my second Next. I was looking forward to it just like anybody that doesn't own one, and receive it, enjoy it, play it. Even though I have one, there would have been some cool things in this Next that would be coming because there's some new games, especially Night Night. Oh, that's one of my, probably the reason I like Night Night is because the demo that they had come out, which I think was a total of 7 levels, I actually got to all 7 levels. So for TJ, that's pretty damn good. So my mind, there are certain games that I can do relatively good at, and if I actually play them often, I do pretty damn good. Most of the time, though, my videos are throw me into the lion's den and play 1 or 2 rounds, so it always looks like TJ doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And for some times, that's probably true. Other times, probably not. I think I could probably do okay, maybe in the middle tier or the lower middle tier of video game playing, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, I was looking forward to the Next. We were supposed to, I think, receive it roughly around August, September time frame, and as we know, that didn't happen. The world is a different place right now, and I think most of us are just hoping that it happens in 2022. There's no reason not to think it won't, but right now there's no firms with anything. But we've got a whole year to go, so I'm hoping before the end of the year we see our Next, and it will become my new de facto Next, and I'll put my other one to the storage box and have it as a backup, because this new one takes care of a couple of what I'm going to call bugs. The sound issue that had some pops and crackles and things that didn't sound quite great when you plugged in external speakers and you heard some interference. I believe that's been taken care of. So that will be nice. I don't have to type that reg2 slat whatever every time I start up my computer when I don't want to hear those. Things of that nature. And then plus any of the add-ons. Since the Next blew it through the roof for the next Kickstarter, oh man, there's tons of fun games and tons of fun things that are coming out for it. And obviously looking forward also to the next version of the operating system that will add extra features. So I'm looking forward to hopefully the Next arrives this year. No idea on date, but hopefully as the months go on, we'll get some word from the team that's making this happen. So sorry to the folks that did not receive one last year. If you are on the fence and didn't have one yet and wanting to get one, yeah, it kind of sucks. It would have been nice to have one, but there are options out there, obviously. There is that Go board that you can buy, it's basically a Next, but it just doesn't have the pretty keyboard and stuff, although there's somebody that made a really cool, really heavy-duty keyboard and case and all that. In fact, two of my buddies, Casey and Eric, both own one, and they seem to like it. I was almost going to get one, but then I started thinking, there's so many other retro computers that I kind of want to get, spending that $300 and some odd on it, since I basically have 2. Probably not the best investment as of right now, but maybe in time I'll grab one down the road, because there's some other cool cases that are coming out for the Go board. There's somebody that has this kind of, it has the design flavor of a 128, the toast rack, the case design, but it's got a built-in LCD screen that doesn't look like it flops up or down, at least from the 3D renderings they had. But it looked kind of industrial, commercial, cool looking. Maybe, having one of those, once you get into something like the Next, for me, I try to collect as much as I can for it, because in 10 years from now, I'd love to say I've got this wonderful collection that I enjoy, and it looked kind of neat. Although I've run out of money and I can't buy every single game out there. Games that I kick myself for not buying, like Bikers came out again. Every time it seems like there's certain games I wanted to get, but money was used elsewhere. Last year I had lots of expenses that I was not expecting. So yeah, it kind of sucks. I can't collect each and every game for the Next that comes out in physical. I can always get the digital, and I try to do that when I can, but I'm more of a physical guy. I enjoy the touchy-feely, having the case. So hopefully some of these that I couldn't get now, they'll come out again down the road, even though the author says, no, that's the end of it. No more available. But I'm thinking when all these Next come shipping soon, 2022, maybe they'll get a little nudge saying, okay, one more run. That's what we can hope for, right? So I'll try to collect as much as I can for the Next. So yeah, 2022. I did have, what am I going to do in 2022 on the Next other than get my new one that's coming in? I don't think I'm going to start on any new or finish off any old programs. I only have one, Invasion of the Cloud People, The Next Storm, that I made for the Next. And I called it a 3/4 done demo. Technically, I could have just called it a done game, and it would have been basically 10 levels of a game, and if you can get to the end, great. Kind of like my first game for the Speccy 48, The Invasion of the Cloud People, the older original one. It was only 7 levels, and basically, it took a number of hours, maybe days, for some folks to win it, because it got kind of like a Speccy programmer. You kind of make it brutal at the end to kind of win. Although some Speccy programmers make it brutal from level 1 and you can never get to level 2. Mine was a little easier. Normally, I think in the original game, you could make it to 3 and 4, and then when the hail started popping, that's when things all started twisting around and making it harder, right? So, am I going to go back in and make that 3/4 done demo, add another quarter, and call it a full game? I don't know. Maybe for my own sake down the road I will, just to say I did it. I put it up on my itch.io account. Off the top of my head, there's maybe 140 downloads of it. And I think 9 people, 10 people maybe donated a few dollars to it, which thank you very much for doing so. I wasn't expecting any donations at all, but always helpful. But with 100 and some odd downloads, I don't know if I would ever try to figure out how to make a physical version and put money behind buying all the SD cards and cases and printing and all that, and make one official run of the game if I did make those extra 3 levels. I call it a baker's dozen. So if I had 13 levels, yeah, maybe that 13th level would have been like some type of boss hog that you had to kill at the end or something. I don't know. I just don't have it in me right now. I've got a lot going on in life. Just like anything else, I'm just like you. I have my ups and downs, and right now it's a little turbulent here. I've got a puppy that's been hard to manage. I'll admit that I love her to pieces, but there's days I just can't stand her because she is just at... she's like a Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex in the house, and even though she's very smart, and it's probably the smartest dog I've ever had, there's certain things we can't and have not been able to break her of. So she's been a hard one. I'm hoping in older age she'll settle down a little bit. Maybe it'll make TJ a little happier. But between that and then work's been kind of, I can't say I'm super excited, but, I still love my job. But things have changed there a little bit, and there's always turbulence and changes and things that you kind of got to go through. And then life in general, you get older like me, you can't start to have things falling apart and stuff. So there's things and ailments that pop up, and, just life in general. Some days are harder than others. So I don't have it in me, long story short, I don't have it in me right now to go in and make another 3 levels. I don't have it in the ticker, because making those first 10 took a lot of brain power for me. Even though it's just Next Basic, I had to really work hard and try to make what I did, and I think it turned out pretty good. I set my goal for 2021 to come out with something, basically what I did, and I did it. So anything I've basically said I'm going to do, I've done. So I am proud of that, but at this point, I just don't have it in me right now to continue programming on the Next. Maybe when the next... my second one comes, I'll have a little spur. Maybe life will settle down a little bit, and I'll be excited about either going back into that game or starting something new. I don't know. But there's lots of things that I'm excited about in just the world of retro and computing in general. I mean, just look, my most recent purchase was this Sword M5. I look forward to exploring that in 2022. I purchased my first Colecovision Adam computer. That's going to be a fun and hoot to play with. I've rekindled my Atari love. It was my first love, and I'll always have that deep love for it, even though the Speccy Next right now is, I still say it's up on the upper part of what's made and reinvigorated my excitement, because under this Intellivision shirt, I've got a Falcon, Atari Falcon, that cost me an arm and a leg to get, but I wanted to get one again because I stupidly sold my first one. And there's some other things I'll probably never get back, like I had a Jaguar with a CD attachment. I sold that for good money a number of years ago, and I kick myself now for doing it because I've now found this at 55 years old, my re-interest on doing these things. My Atari 800, I grabbed a FujiNet for it, and I've connected my Atari 800 to the dang internets, and I'm downloading games, and I played Seamus. The first cartridge I purchased for my Atari 800 was Seamus, a red cartridge that's now worth $1 bazillion. And I gave it away back in the olden days when I was getting married. Who needs this stuff, right? Oh, I'm so stupid. But yeah, I played Seamus again, and I did pretty damn good, I think, for playing it a first time around. And so rekindling of all that. I'm hoping in 2022 that I can clean off my back room that's been a pigsty, and I can call it an Atari room again, because a lot of it is Atari stuff in there, and set up all my computers, because you can kind of see I got wall-to-wall, desk-to-desk stuff around me, and it's hard to divvy out time between things when it takes you an hour to get everything pulled out and set up and used again. If I had it readily available to go, I'd probably use it more often. So unless I kick my wife out and kick my dogs out and go off and become a lone man up in the mountains all alone with no women, no spending my money, and out just doing what I want to do and being a poor SOB and playing video games and stuff, I don't think I'd be happier for that. I mean, I've got a pretty relatively decent life, but there's times that it would be nice to just have alone time, that I can play with my Atari 800 and my Speccy Next and all that stuff. So, yeah, this was just a video of me just welcoming 2022. Hopefully your 2021 was okay. Ours generally was okay. Like I said, just life in general. And I have my ups and downs like anybody else. And I'm kind of a little bit on a downer right now. In my downers, I'm still typically pretty excitable. So I try to always look at the positive and be enthusiastic about what I have and happy to have what I have. And I'm hoping 2022 is that way for you all, that you can enjoy and get your Speccy Next and get any retro computer that you hope for. In 2022, I think something I'm going to explore, if it becomes available, is a modern remake of some other computers that I've never really had. I've never been a Commodore fan per se, but I've never been against it. I know how well they did and how cool of a computer it is. But I've been following two. The Commander X16 looks really delicious. I don't know if it's going to come out. It seems to be one of those, you know, the pandemic has screwed up a lot of things. And are we going to see the X16? It's kind of like that next step. What would have Commodore done back in the day to make that next Commodore computer? The X16 looks really cool. And if they come out with a finalized product, I'll probably buy one. Another one is Phoenix Retro Systems. It's kind of catered to the developers. And I don't know, I just made a video, and I don't know if it's for me necessarily. The design of the computer is, but I don't have, like I said, this year's been kind of hard for me to do some things, so I'm not a developer. I'd love to learn and program on it, but it needs to come with a few things to get me started, and those few things are just not there yet for a person that has my skull. They need to be a little brighter, I'll admit it, but it looks really cool. It's a cube computer. It's called the Gen X. It's got an 816 CPU, and it's got two CPUs basically, an 816, I guess you call it, even though it's probably technically a 16-bit CPU, but I think they call it 816. It's a WDC 65C 816, something like that, and a module you can plug in that has other flavors. What do you want, a 68040? You could do it. So my thought is, this computer looks really cool, and a 68040 would have been the next logical jump for Atari. The Falcon's only an 030. The TT-030 is only an 030. I know there's cards out there that are up to 060, but Atari would have logically went to 040 next, so I would love to see that come out. And I'm hoping it's for me, that they come out with a few things, even though they cater to the developer, a few things that us commoners can actually want to buy and get excited about it. So I'm looking into that. And then there's also all these other retro computers. I've had on my mind for a while getting a Dragon 32. I doubt I'll be able to find a 64. But a Dragon 32, even though it's a Tandy, TRS computer, right? It's called Dragon, dang it! And I like it! I want a Dragon! And I'm so tempted to get one, and I'm getting close to pulling the trigger, but I haven't. It's one of those I'm going to have to get from Europe and bring it over here to the United States. But I've done that before, and I may explore that in 2022. There's a lot to continue on. The Intellivision Amico. That has been, 3 years in the making. This has got to be the year. Hopefully it's the year they come out with it. I'm one of the Founder Edition purchasers, and I can't wait to get mine. It will be the first modern gaming system that TJ has purchased since the Nintendo Wii. That's a long time. 16 years, 17 years, whatever it is. I never went to all these other ones after that. So I'm looking forward to the Amico because it has some games that are kind of, excuse my cough, but I want to just quickly grab a game, play it for a little bit, and be done with it. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. That's why my Invasion of the Cloud People, the original version, that's a 7-level game. It can be a bitch to win, but you get enticed just enough to play it. The Amico might be that for me, that you can go in and you don't have to become a rocket scientist and learn every joystick maneuver to just go in there and play a family-friendly game. And that's what interests me about the Amico. That should be shipping in 2022. It was supposed to ship a while ago. I think originally October 2020, I think, was a past date, and then 2021 came and gone, and now it's pushed to 2022. The pandemic has screwed many of folks. Damn that pandemic. But hopefully we see good things from all these folks, including the Speccy Next, that we have it coming out soon. We can enjoy it, love it, play it, learn it, whatever you want to do. And so that's it. Hopefully year 2022 is a grand one. I can't wait for my Speccy Next to show, and my Intellivision Amico, and my Atari Falcon. I've got a hard drive I need to slap in there, and I've got some extra memory already for it. So yeah, I've got a lot of things, a lot of pokers in the fire, and I'll just continue doing my videos for my YouTube channel, and just making little videos that I can go back in 10 years from now when I forget stuff, saying, oh yeah, I did that. And cool. So anyway, thanks for watching. Happy 2022 to you. Have a grand rest of your day. Bye.